What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be the 1-year review of buying, owning, modifying, and driving my 2022 Ford Bronco Outer Banks with the Sasquatch package. Just in case this is the first time you're seeing the vehicle or this channel, this is my 2022 Ford Bronco. Like I said, it's in Oxford White. It is upgraded a little bit. We have a few mods here and they're kind of basic, so I'll kind of go through this. But I have the Diode Dynamics lights. I've got the JCR bumper guard. I changed out to a Wild Track grille. Beyond that, I have the Hook Road roof rack, which allows you to still take off the front panels and the mid-row panels. Other thing that you're gonna see on top of that roof rack that you guys probably haven't seen before is the Roof Nest Condor XL. That thing is awesome. It folds out to larger, I think just over a king size mattress. So my girlfriend and I and our dog, which is a Boston Terrier, fit in there very spaciously. We just recently went on an overlanding trip where we spent a few nights through the Mendocino National Forest, and on the way, we stopped at different places, packed it up and kept moving, put over 100 miles off road through that trail system. And it was really great. It was awesome to be able to pack everything up. It doesn't store all of your bedding inside, but this is not sponsored. I paid for that. So I'll make a review on that later if that's something you guys are interested in. Next thing you guys are probably going to notice are gonna be the wheels and tires. So this is a Sasquatch on Bilsteins, but we do have a 3-inch lift. We have 37-inch KM3s with Black Rhino bead locks. These are true bead locks, and I had to do a little bit of modifying of the running board from the Outer Banks to make that not rub on there at full lock. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the exterior goes. Beyond that, to support that extra 37, I've done a few things. So I have the extended bump stops here that I got off Amazon and did. And then beyond that, we have the hammer-built performance spare tire mount. So this is where you have all that extra support for the spare tire because this is a very heavy setup. And then we have my Midland radio. This is the antenna, I think it's called the Ghost antenna. So this is wired into the vehicle, so I have a nice GMRS radio. And then this is where the future roto packs will be. So this is where I'll put extra gas and water, which we definitely needed in that Mendocino National Forest trip. You guys know me and know that I will constantly keep adding things and modifying things, just like I did with the Mustang, which we will be making videos on the Mustang here shortly too. But I do want to say that chase lights are definitely necessary. Going off-road with these dusty conditions, I want to make sure it's safe, that everyone behind me can see me, so don't rear end me on the trail, because that would really suck. The other thing that I really want to upgrade is going to be the sound system. Now, I will talk more about that, about the downsides of the Bronco, but the sound system is something I definitely want to upgrade. I do have all the parts basically sitting in my garage. I just need to go ahead and make the video and install them for you guys. But I have a full kicker setup, and it's gonna blow the stock system out of the water. Beyond that, some of the other mods might be like a fridge, so that way I don't have to worry about ice when overlanding for multiple days. And then just more and more protection. I don't have anything over my fuel tank, and I don't have anything over the transmission. It's been a little while since I've made a video, so I'm reading off my phone a little bit because I wanted to think this one out, because it is kind of a milestone, your first year with your vehicle. Now this, I'll be honest, is the first brand new car I've ever bought, so it's not something I've ever done before, but I will share my experience from the start until what it has been today, because that is the true owner experience. And so with that, I bought it here at Future Ford Roseville in the Sacramento area. With that, I did not pay a dealer markup. I was able to order this. I spec'd it exactly how I wanted to, with interior and big screen and things like that. When I ordered the vehicle, it was during a time where they had a lot of constraints. So that meant that the big screen, the Sasquatch, the hard top, things like that would have made my order go longer than the average soft top, small motor, little screen. This was during peak COVID, and just everything supply chain was the problem. Everyone claimed supply chain. This was especially, I guess, affected by that. Now with that, I got really lucky in that I ordered it and it came within about 7 or 8 months from me placing my order. It's been a really great experience working with Future Roseville. I was in and out in a few hours, got everything done paperwork wise, and I was driving and going home. Because this is my first brand new vehicle, I did want to opt for an extended warranty, so I also purchased that. I believe I'm covered up to like 120,000 miles or 8 years. I bought that through Ford, so it's the official Ford extended warranty. Now with that, I knew obviously I'm gonna be modifying things, but with the warranty, it still covers the major components like drivetrain, the hard top, your suspension, things like that. Of course, if you start modifying those things, like if I changed the coilovers, we are no longer under that warranty because they did not supply whatever coilovers I put on there. So I know that, and that makes a lot of sense, but the engine, transmission, drive shaft, your 4x4, all that stuff, I wanted to be fully covered because this is such an electronics heavy vehicle. Speaking of 4x4 and electronic system, that gets me into one of the first points, which is going to be my experience with reliability with this vehicle. Now, yes, I am a Ford fan, but I would tell you guys the truth if I was having an issue. I'm diehard Ford. Almost all my vehicles have been Ford, but I will tell you the truth about this. It has been perfectly reliable. The only thing I've had issues with has been the Apple CarPlay, which is the big 12-inch screen or whatever. To fix that, it sometimes like logs and it doesn't really want to let you go to the next page, or it doesn't want to connect. To fix it, all you do is hold the power button and then the next button, so like the little arrows to the right, hold those together. I'd kind of do one of these, kind of like a shaka. Do like that for about 5 seconds. It'll restart the system, and from there it fixes it. So I can do that while driving. You don't have to go ahead and restart the vehicle like other people have said. Beyond that, the 4x4 system has been excellent. Now, let me talk a little bit about how I use this vehicle. First things first, it's a daily driver. So I know it's not great on gas. I did 37s, and just to let you guys know, I get about 14.7 miles per gallon in its current form. So on 37s, rooftop tent, and the roof rack. So that's my daily driving habits, is about 15 miles per gallon, but I didn't buy this to be a fuel economy queen on the road, right? I bought it to be off-road capable, look awesome, do everything I needed to do. So I got rid of my truck for this. This is now my daily driver. Beyond daily driving, the other way that I use this vehicle is for overlanding. It's obviously built a little bit for that, and I've been building it for that entire year to ultimately get to the rooftop tent, which is the newest piece on this. With overlanding, I'm a mix between fire roads, loose gravel, and also small rock climbing, right? I'm not dealing with Rubicon level smooth rocks that I'm trying to get up. I'm also not in the Moab. I'm here in Sacramento, so we do have the Rubicon pretty close, but I'm doing a lot of forest camping, finding shade just like I am today, and just that's my style of driving. Now, have I done some rock climbs and some dumb stuff in it? Yes, but I'm not the fully capable driver that this thing is fully capable of getting me up the hill. What I'm doing is just trying to make it as comfortable as possible off-road. I can deflate my tires down and make it really nice and squishy for my girlfriend who's riding with me, or my dog. And then beyond that, I just want to have full peace of mind wherever I'm at, that I will not be stuck and will not need to recover myself, although you always plan for that. I know that. So with that, the type of driving that I do, I typically will only have to do 4x4 high, which happens in a second, and I love that I can do it while driving. That was something that in my previous vehicle, you had a little bit of a nuance to put it in neutral or do it while still rolling at a really low speed. This one actually goes at a pretty high speed. I don't know what exactly it is, but I've been behind my buddy or going off-road and I've just clicked it in and it just clicks in automatically. Now beyond that, most of the time, as long as I keep momentum, I can just put two-wheel drive in and then throw on my rear lockers. I have not really been in a situation to throw on my front lockers, and I know there's some sway about that with the front tie rods, or obviously the only tie rods in the front steering rack. But with that, I typically can get away with momentum and rear locker, or if I have to, I'll put it in 4x4 high and just use that to pull myself out. My frame of mind whenever I'm off-roading is that two-wheel drive is your normal, and then four-wheel drive is my safety net or my self-recover. So I don't typically drive around everywhere in 4x4, just because if I get stuck in 4x4, I don't have anything else but to now use a strap or use someone else or a winch that I clearly do not have on here. As I mentioned, I sold my truck to get this vehicle, and it is my daily driver. So for reference, I'm 6'1", pretty flat-footed now. I'm wearing flip-flops, so it's not like I'm wearing a high heel here, but it is lifted. It does have the roof rack. It's on 37s, but getting in and out is actually really easy. That's something that I dislike about the Mustang, because I love the bags, but I hate having to crawl my way out of the car every time I park and air out. This is very easy. One of the things I'm being very careful about is this bolster, which I don't know if you guys can see, but it's the bolster on the outside of the seat. I do not want this to flatten. Something I've noticed with leather vehicles in the past, this typically flattens and cracks and starts to peel up. That's why one of the reasons why we went with the cloth on this is because I've seen Ford cloth last very, very long. I've seen it look really great, like looks like it just came out of the factory. And we're experiencing that already with this, because I am not easy on this. My dog climbs all over this. We have dirty feet on him after going off-road or camping. It all looks fine, and I can easily clean it up. So Ford, really good cloth. and I don't have to worry about it being 1,000,000 degrees here, because yesterday was literally 109 degrees and this would have been scorching hot. When I hop inside of this, I feel very comfortable. I also have a really good seating position. I'm able to adjust everything. Now this is my experience in my proportions. I know that changes for everybody, but for me specifically, this has been great. I do not get driver's fatigue. That was something I did get on my old vehicles, was driver's fatigue, where my butt would hurt. I'd need to get out and stretch. Now, obviously I always recommend stretching on long road trips, but this has been very, very comfortable. And it does have the lane keep assist as well. So if you are on a long road trip and it's straight, like going down I-5 or down 99, you can pretty much just lightly steer and it'll hold it for you. Let's be honest, if you buy one of these Broncos, it's typically not a crawler or a caged system that you're gonna only take off-road and trailer in and out of the trails. You're gonna be daily driving it, right? So let's just get the whole mall crawler thing out of the way. I did lift it, and it's not because of my ego or anything like that. I wanted to have the capability. Now, does it look sick? Yes. Does it make me feel cool driving it? Also, yes. But again, I wanted to do this from the start. It was part of my plan in the very beginning to put big old tires on it. I guess it is part of my ego if I have to admit it, but it does look awesome and it's super capable. Beyond that, the benefit of being a daily driver is that you have extra visibility. Now, here in California, we have terrible traffic. One of the things I hate is stop and go traffic, where I have to hit the brakes really hard because someone up ahead was texting. It's still very common. And so with that, I can see over most cars, even trucks, and be able to know, are they delaying their braking, or are they just not paying attention, or what's going on? So I can see a panic stop way before than when I'm in the Mustang or my old Ford Focus where I was really low. I have to react to everyone who's in front of me, like directly in front of me. With the height and the visibility and giant windshield that this has, I can see over everyone and I don't have to react. I can kind of plan an early brake before the truck or car in front of me actually needs to brake. Something that's really cool about American car culture is that if you're really into cars, you want to modify things just even slightly to make your own personalized taste or own twist on what it already is. So most vehicles, you do have a nice aftermarket selection. This being a brand new platform by Ford that's brought back after all those years, it took a little while for mods to come out. All of these mods and all of these problems that you modify solutions for, like the spare tire support, this was because the tailgate isn't technically strong enough to probably support this off-road without bending or creasing your aluminum tailgate. So there's modifications that are to support and fix some of the things that it should have already had fixed. And then there's modifications to make it your own. Of course, not everyone has this anyway, so it is my own style in that way. Ford Broncos have a lot of mods already on the market, from low-end Amazon cheapy stuff all the way up to high-end custom built, everything on that line, right? So that's really cool to see, and it's something that I want to point out is that if you're really into modifying things, there's different things like vinyl and graphics, wheels and tires, lift setups, coilover setups, roof racks, hard top, soft top, aftermarket hard top, aftermarket soft top. They even have, I think Anderson Composites has a full carbon roof. There's so many mods already available for this thing, and that's something I want to say. If you're into modifying your car or just want to get like into modifying cars, this is a great platform. Everything is pretty much bolt on, bolt off, super easy to work on. There's tons of resources available, YouTube videos, forum posts, Facebook group posts, and that's something I want to talk about too, is the community. The Ford Bronco community has been great. Of course, the whole heated debate between Jeep and Bronco. It's the same thing with my Mustang, whether it's Camaro or Corvette versus the Mustang. Most of the time, people do not care. It's just something that people like to tout on the internet. So if you have decently thick skin, it's not gonna bother you. Beyond that, everyone in the community has been really cool. It's been great to ask questions. People answer them honestly. They sometimes get a little trolly online, but for the most part, people have been really helpful. So if you are new and you have questions, even off-roading and you're a newbie there, we have our local group called Gold Country Broncos, and within that, we even have Broncos Sports that roll with us. And we just make sure that the trails they can also access, or they have a go around or some kind of like cut, something like that, so they can keep up with us. But all in all, the community has been really great. The mods are only getting better. There's tons already available, but just give it a few more years as you're owning and paying yours off, or maybe just wanting to modify it, you can always swap these things out. So I know this will probably not be my only ever set of wheels and tires on this thing. I'll probably cycle through some things. I'm even looking at wide body kits that RTR just released, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but every panel on here is unboltable. It's such a great platform because if you have never modified a car before and you want to get into it, it's a great place to start. Or if you're a heavy modifier and do everything yourself and want to make it very unique, you can also do that too. Now, it wouldn't be a very fair one-year review if I didn't share some of the negatives, one of them being money. So these things are not cheap. Here in California, with my spec, it was around just over $60,000 out the door. I'm not gonna sit here and act like $60,000 for a vehicle was cheap. It's not just 20 bucks to me. I do make payments on this, I financed it, and with that, I wanted to make sure it was a vehicle that I truly wanted if I'm gonna have that kind of investment into a vehicle. Typically investments make you money. This one doesn't necessarily make you money because it is a depreciating asset, but I'll let you have your own financial advice there. The other side to this is that they're only getting more and more expensive. So I spec'd mine out on the Ford website exactly the same, just with a 2024, I believe, or 2023, whatever it is now. But with that, it was multiple thousands more expensive for the exact same vehicle. The other part to that, and it goes beyond just the vehicle price, is that the modifications price. As I mentioned, it is a new body style. It's the 6th gen Bronco. So with that, they haven't been out on years and years for people to compete with roof racks or compete with bumpers and compete with different flares and wide body kits, right? So with that, there's only a few on the market right now. Of course, over the next few years, there's going to be so many flare options, so many taillight options, roof options, all of that, right? But right now we are paying what everyone calls the Bronco tax. So everything's more expensive. And that's why when I found this roof rack for only $475 versus everyone else with these same types of features being $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, I had to jump on it. And so I'll make a more detailed review of this with the rooftop tent. But these mods are not cheap, right? The rooftop tent was multiple thousands of dollars, but my rooftop, or the roof rack, was actually a place where I was able to save a little bit. So it is something that you have to keep in mind if you do want to modify it, is that there will be a Bronco tax unless you can fully customize and build out your own parts. There's a big expense right now with being first to market and basically them having you buy your gonads, so to speak. I don't want this just to be a one-way street where you guys only hear my perspective. Leave your comments down below about what it has been like to buy and modify and own your vehicle. Let me know, has it been great? Have you had issues with yours? I want that to be a realistic view of everyone's experience, and even that for people that are prospective buyers or people that are saving up for their Bronco or have their order in and they're just waiting for it to be built. I want them to read all of this, and that way they can ask direct questions to those specific experiences, so that way they can make their own decision for themselves. Now, obviously, I'm a huge Ford fan, but I did want to be honest about the cost and some of those things that are kind of the downsides to owning a Bronco. But other than that, it has been a very, very great experience. I love doing the Bronco wave. Now, you can roast me all you want. I think it's so cool to have a vehicle where people give you a peace sign or flash you on the road. I don't know. I just think that's cool. It's childish in most cases, but it's just cool to have a community like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.